Okay, this is a short tutorial on basically how to create a zip file for submitting Microsoft Visual Studio projects through the Learning Management System. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up Visual Studio. Now the first thing you need to know is where the heck your files are. If you don't know where your files are, you're not going to be able to create a zip file of them. Make sense? Okay. So I'm going to do File, New, Project, and I'm going to pretend like this is a website. So this location right here is the important thing. I'm going to go here and do I'm going to hit Browse, okay, and basically go to Documents. I'm going to create maybe a folder here called I'm going to do another folder. We'll call this I don't know, Projects or Assignments. Let's call this Assignments. Okay, the Assignments directory. Cool. So now this is where my projects are gonna go. All right, cool. So now I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna assume like this is assignment 2 or whatever it is you're doing. So assignment 2. So now I have assignment 2 as the name and the location. I've and by the way, once you've done this one time, pick the location, it'll always go to that location. I typically leave this part off where it says create directory for solution. I usually have that unchecked. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to build the project. It should take just a few seconds to do that. Okay, so here we are. Now here's my project. So typically in a project, you're going to add some files, aren't you? So I'm going to go here and say add, and I'm going to add an HTML page. Cool. I'm also going to add like a style sheet on here. So we do add style sheet. Okay, now those two files that I added, those are the most important things. That's what I want. I want those two things. I'm willing to take a bunch of other stuff, but the things that you add, the things where you type, these are the documents that need to be included in the zip file. So I'm just going to close this guy down and say exit. And it's going to come up and say, would you like me to make changes to something called a solution? I go, okay, sure, whatever, dude. All right, now let's go find our files. If I bring up my go-to documents, remember we put this thing in a thing called assignments, and there's the thing for assignment 2. Now if I was to open this project in Visual Studio, I'd click on this thing called the solution file. Okay? So let's do that. Let's just double click on this guy. Sure. And it's going to launch my project and bring it back exactly where I was. Eventually. Okay, cool. All right. But all that is a text file. That is not the stuff you need. This file will do me no good whatsoever. What I need is the contents of this directory. Okay, that's what I need. So what I'm expecting you to do is to go back up one directory. Okay, you need to know how to navigate a system here. Go to where it says assignment 2 and do a right click. And then say send to compressed folder. Okay, send to compressed folder. And that's when you do this, and it takes just a second. And then it's going to say, what would you like to call this? This is where the file naming convention comes in. If you recall from the syllabus, so pretending like this is a web class, this would be, CIS, whatever it is, 3315, assignment 2, space, whatever your name is, do.john. Done. That is what I'll need you to submit. Okay, kind of makes sense? So let's go through it one more time. I need you to zip up the entire contents of the project to include all these things. Now, admittedly, I don't need it all, but it just makes it easy if you just go back up one directory and do right-click, send to, compress folder, and then rename it. If you want to see what's inside this folder, just double-click on it, and it'll show you that everything is there. And admittedly, it might be a little confusing, because it looks identical to the other folder, except you got a cool little pink thing at the top. All right, so one more time. So now that I've got this is what I submit. Click on this and say submit this to Canvas. Got it? Cool. All right.